I moved again. So here's my new office. Just moved into this place. Took me a little bit of time to get everything settled, but now it all feels pretty good. I'm really happy with the whole setup in here. The other office I was in was owned by the same management company. It was always a little bit more of a temporary solution. I was supposed to be here originally, but this place wasn't quite ready yet. So they let me know that they had another office ready and they put me up in there until this one was done. So now it's done and I've moved in here. It's way bigger. It's way nicer. It's a lot closer to where I'm living. So it's a way easier commute. So I thought I would also take this opportunity just to give you guys a little bit of a tour of my space and what kind of stuff I'm using. I've always been a little bit of a gear nerd myself. I always love seeing what other people are using and how they're utilizing it. And I thought this would be a great opportunity to give you guys a tour of my space and all of the gear I use on a day-to-day basis for making videos and all of the other stuff that I do. And stick around for the end of the video. I'll be giving you a look at what my new backdrop will look like, how I have it all set up behind me. So stick around for that. All right, here's a quick 360 tour of the space. So there's the front door, go to the right, there's that same shelf you've seen before in some of my older videos. There's the classic C. I have a couch for when I have other people in the office that I'm collaborating with. I have that D'Addario sensory percussion kit that I haven't had a chance to dig into yet, but hopefully soon. Here's some shelves for storage. And then here is my main desk setup. Quick look at that shelf. Down here at the bottom, I got some books that I like having quick access to in my office, just some really helpful method type of books. Down there at the bottom right there, those are just some film scores that you can buy online. I think those are from Omni Publishing, some really awesome film scores. And then another great book that I'm reading right now, John Green, Anthropocene Reviewed. Really happy with that one. I've enjoyed that one a lot. And then if we go up from there, I have a lot of items on here that I like having in the backdrop of my videos. They have a lot of sentimental, emotional value to me, but not necessarily a whole lot of like monetary value or anything like that. So I participated in an activity that's called DCI and WGI. If you do know me, then you're probably already aware of that. But it's basically like the marching arts type of activities. I was a drummer in that, and you'll see some pictures of it in a little bit. But here's the star I got from being in the Santa Clara Vanguard that we have that pinned onto our uniforms. Here's a plaque I got, an award I got when I was in the Blue Devils for Most Improved. There's my name on it right there when I was in it. Here's an SB404, just as sort of like an old school backdrop electronics type of thing. I'm actually borrowing that, so that's from a friend of mine. And behind it, it works really well because it's covering up a thermostat. So I like having it there just so it covers up that thermostat. And then going up here, I've put this one in pictures before, and a lot of people have thought that it was a wine bottle, which I guess technically it probably is, but I don't know if it ever actually had wine in it. These were like centerpieces at our end of the year awards banquet when I was in Blue Devils, and there were a bunch of these with different pictures, and when it was over, everyone was giving them to each other and handing them out. Someone walked up to me and handed this one to me. It had my picture on it. So that's me right there when I was in the Blue Devils wearing my drums in Blue Devils 2014. So I like having that. It's a nice memorabilia piece. Plus here's another one that I got. This is another thing you get when you're in the Blue Devils and you finish your time there, that it is a youth activity. So as soon as you get to a certain age, you're not allowed to do it anymore. So this was the 2 years that I was in it. It's got this little thing that we have on our Shakos, is this eagle and the chain. And right next to it is the actual Shako itself. So you can see it's got the same stuff. This was my personal Shako, which is what we wore when we performed, which they don't actually really wear anymore. It's kind of become like an old school type of thing to have Shakos on. But we did have these when I was marching, and they had got new ones. And so we were able to take our old ones. So this one actually has my name on it right there. It was number 212 Shako, whatever that meant. And then another nice little memorabilia piece. This is from a student of mine. They got me this little Lego set. They know that I liked building Legos, and so they got me that Lego set. It just really meant a lot to me, so I like having that on my shelf. And then I was also super fortunate to be in 3 groups that won gold medals. So these are gold medals from finals. That would be, you know, for us, is kind of the equivalent of like the NBA finals or something like that. So this was when I was in Vanguard Cadets in 2008, we got a gold medal, RCC in 2015, and then Blue Devils in 2014. So really like having those hanging there as a nice reminder as well. And then up here, just some more like decorative type of items that I like, plus this one. My parents got me a Tibetan bowl that I really like there. And then here's another one that's from a student of mine. It's got a frog. I believe that's from the Philippines or maybe somewhere like that, but that's one of those ones you can rub that little stick across its back, and then it's supposed to sound like a ribbiting frog. All right, moving right along, we got our C right here. This is something I made myself out of sound panel kind of things. They're little triangles, and I just glued them together on some poster board, and then I put some lights behind it, and I like it as the C for Catherall Audio. And then right there, I got this D'Addario sensory percussion thing that I still need to dig into and use a little bit more. Got the couch, and we can go over here to my storage shelves. Each of these, I try and keep it a little bit organized. Up here is some more of my like audio type of stuff, some old audio interfaces, my iFixit kit, some little like musical things. And then next is some more like camera type of gear. And then I got tools, and then I got lighting gear. And then I have some other stuff, that's my teleprompter, and I got some old MacBooks there and some other things. And then over here is all my storage for all my other stuff. So I got just some like musical stuff. This is my Ronin that I use for my Sony camera. A bunch of audio equipment in here. Here's some microphones. Got some snacks right there. You gotta have some snacks. And then I've got just some more storage. I try and keep everything labeled and easy to identify pretty quickly of what's in each thing. So it just makes it easy to grab something quickly. It's come really in handy so I don't just have a big giant tub of cables that I have to dig through and grab stuff. And then I got XLR cables and 1/4-inch cables, and then my soldering gear. And then over here, because I am still a drummer, I've got drum pad and drum sticks. This is a drum pad I got when I was in Blue Devils, and then those are the Murray Gussick Vic Firth sticks. I like those a lot. And we are on to the main hub. So this is my desk. I use an on-stage desk with all of the extra parts on it. So there's like the main desk, and then you can get these side parts added onto it. So I got both of those. Plus I have the rack over here. So starting from top to bottom, obviously some of the stuff on top, I got a fan right there. Got to have a great fan. That's a battery charger. This is a place to put my keys, some coasters, and then a wireless charger right here, which I mostly just use to charge my AirPods, but it's still pretty convenient to have that there. And then on top, this is one of my favorite parts that I got. This is a power distributor, but it has a switch for every single outlet, so I can have everything at an arm's reach to be able to turn things on. You can see right here, I have this for my main monitor speakers. I have this for my light, for the fan, turning on some of my RGB lights, and then this is for the battery charger. So I can turn that stuff on and off, and it's all at an arm's reach. I can just reach over and turn those things off instead of having to reach around and turn things on with the switches in the back and reach all over the place to turn things on. It's all in one spot. I can just flip switches and be ready to go. And then down here, I have another power conditioner. I really like this one because it's got these 9 outlets on the front, and it also has an additional 9 outlets on the back. So that's where most of the stuff is plugged in, is on the outlets on the back. Working down from there, I have my audio interface. This is the Scarlett 18i20. Really love having this thing. This is where all of my microphones go through. I have a whole bunch of stuff plugged into this. And then below it, I have an expansion. This is the Scarlett Octapre, so it gives me an additional 8 preamps to plug into. And then these are connected to each other via an optical cable in the back, and then synced together so that they can operate as essentially one thing. So this basically acts as a 16 input audio interface now, which is really helpful. And then below that, one of my actual favorite things that I have in this rack right here is a Yamaha motif rack. So this is essentially all of the sounds of a motif, but just in a rack. And I have this connected to a MIDI controller, and it makes it really easy. All I have to do is push this on button right here, and then it turns it on, and I can quickly start playing some sounds because I have it connected to my MIDI controller via a 5-pin MIDI cable to be able to send information. And then below that, I have some ULXS4 wireless Shure receivers and then transmitters, so that I can have some wireless mics when I need it. And then these are the antennas from the back of these, and then it's routed through this plate that I bought so that I can have the antennas in the front. And then down here is just a 2U drawer, 2-unit space drawer. Just convenient, have some stuff in there that I like being able to have some quick access to. And then just a quick plate to keep it a little bit cleaner so I don't just have an open space. And then here at the bottom, I have a pretty straightforward 5-port switch. And then I have basically, this is like essentially my server setup for my office. So this combined is 10 terabytes of space. I started with this one over here, which is 4 terabytes, and then I filled that up, so I added an additional 6 terabytes. And that's going through, this is a Raspberry Pi, and so that's running some server software type of stuff on it, and so that helps manage all of this. And then it's connected to my network right there, so I have access to it on my Mac Studio. So one of these is going to my Mac Studio, one of these is the Raspberry Pi, and then one of these goes into the outlet or the jack in the wall. Going over from there, I've got handy dandy UPS right here. This thing has saved me a bunch of times when power gets a little bit weird and a little bit sketchy. This thing keeps everything running and has definitely saved me more than a few times. Next over here, these are my headphones using the Audio Technica. These have definitely seen some use. All of this stuff on the sides is completely worn off, so this is just sort of like the bare part on my ears, but it still works well and I still like those a lot. I also do my best to keep everything cleanly cable managed, so there's all the Velcro ties right there to keep it all in just one essential cable running across, all tied together. Same thing under the desk there, as I do my best to keep it clean, because I think a clean space helps me be creative with what I'm trying to do. Moving up here, this is my Sony a6500 camera that I use, and then I've got a Sigma 30mm lens on it. I do set it on top of these just to give myself a good angle when I'm sitting at my desk. And then here's my monitors. I'm using the KRK Rocket 5s, like them a lot. Pretty great. I know that there's definitely far better things out there, but I'm pretty happy with what these get me. I don't really do a whole lot of monitor mixing. Most of it happens in my headphones, and then those are just for a quick check. And then here I use the Elgato key light just for that main light on my face when I'm sitting at the desk. And then here's the main microphone I use for my talking and audio. It's a Rode NTG3B. Really like this one a lot. And then I just have it on a stand, a little boom arm thing that's attached to the desk. So that way you can just sit there and live there all the time, and it's pretty convenient. And then I've got two Acer 27-inch monitors and then a 43-inch TV. These things are fantastic. Adding monitors is definitely a dangerous game. As soon as you add monitors, it's really difficult to go backwards and have less. So it's actually, don't really like doing a whole lot of major work on my laptop. Most of it ends up happening at this desk. And here's my MIDI controller, nothing crazy. KeyStation M Audio 61 key, and then a nano control just for the faders and all that stuff when I'm working in MainStage and Logic. And then there's my Mac Studio. That's my main computer. It's got 64 gigs of RAM. It's an M1 Ultra. Really love it. As soon as I moved to that for video editing, significantly better. And then just some side small stuff. I got Post-it notes, a little cup holding some pencils and some stuff, and then a printer and a HomePod mini. So that's kind of the quick tour of my desk, all the major pieces of it. Really happy with it. This is sort of my main hub where I get all of my work done. So now let's check out the new look in my office. All right, so here's the new space. Really happy with it. It's way bigger. I've already had some people over here. It's a much bigger space, so it's way easier to collaborate and actually work together with people and not be squeezed into a little spot. Did some math just to double check it. I went from a small 76 square foot office now to this one right now is 173 square feet. So way bigger, way nicer all around. It's just great. I'm really excited about everything I'll be able to do in here. I loved that old office. It was great. It was a really nice step forward from what I was doing before. And now this feels like just another upgrade from there. So I'm excited about it. I think it's really nice. It'll actually give me the opportunity to be able to maybe do some different shots in here, so it won't always just be the same shot all the time. So make sure you get subscribed to check out some of these future videos I'm going to be making inside of this office, because I already have some plans for a lot of great videos. You're not going to want to miss them. We're going to be reviewing a whole bunch of awesome stuff, doing tutorials on a bunch of audio gear and showing how to get different things set up and how to get up and running with your gear. So that's my new office. If you like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you give it a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.